Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
The story begins in a secluded countryside house surrounded by thick trees, long narrow paths, and an unsettling silence that feels heavier with every passing second. Two young brothers arrive with excitement and nervousness mixed together, expecting to reunite with their mother after a long time apart. But the moment they step into the dimly lit home, something feels different, as if the walls are hiding memories they were never supposed to revisit. Their mother appears with her face covered in bandages, claiming she had undergone a serious medical procedure. Her voice sounds familiar, yet the warmth they once knew seems replaced by a strange coldness that sends chills through their hearts. She moves differently, speaks differently, and reacts in ways that make the brothers question whether the woman behind the bandages is truly their mother or someone else entirely pretending to be her. In the early scenes, the film builds suspense through subtle moments rather than loud terror. The mother creates strict new rules around the house, rules she never enforced before. She demands silence during certain hours, forbids them from entering specific rooms, and refuses to explain why the curtains must stay closed at all times. The boys begin observing small details. Her scent seems unfamiliar, her posture looks stiff, and the softness in her eyes appears to be gone. Every night they whisper in the dark, trying to understand the sudden changes and comforting each other with theories that swing between innocence and pure fear. They cling to memories of their real mother, her laughter, her gentle touch, the stories she once told them, and every difference becomes a reason for doubt. The house feels colder each day, and the feeling that a stranger may be living with them grows heavier. The tension builds as the mother's behavior becomes unpredictable. Some days she seems caring, almost like the mother they remember, but the kindness disappears as quickly as it arrives. Other days she becomes distant, irritable, and frighteningly strict. She locks her bedroom door, avoids sunlight, and watches the boys with an expression that looks more like suspicion than love. The boys begin collecting clues secretly, convinced something terrible has happened. They find burned photos hidden in the fireplace, children's drawings torn apart and discarded, and strange notes on the bathroom mirror that vanish before morning. Every discovery deepens their belief that the woman wearing their mother's face is hiding a dark secret, one that could put them in danger if they stay silent any longer. As days pass, the boys' imaginations become their strongest weapon and their greatest curse. They start hearing whispers at night, footsteps outside their room, and the sound of someone crying behind locked doors. Some scenes show them following shadows in the hallways, convinced they saw someone other than their mother inside the house. Their fear intensifies when they notice dried blood on the edge of the sink, and their mother dismisses it casually with an explanation that feels rehearsed. The older brother grows determined to protect his younger sibling, promising they will uncover the truth no matter how terrifying it becomes. This bond between them becomes the emotional core of the story, showing how fear can strengthen love and how innocence can lead to dangerous decisions. The atmosphere of the film shifts into deeper psychological tension as the boys attempt to confront the woman they believe is an imposter. They watch her through cracks in the door, track her daily routines, and try to catch her in lies. They test her memory by asking questions about family moments only their true mother would remember. Sometimes she answers correctly, leaving them confused, but at other times she shows hesitation that terrifies them. Their confusion grows until they no longer trust anything, not the house, not their memories, and not the person claiming to be their mother. The story creates a psychological maze, blurring the line between imagination, trauma, and reality, making the viewer question whether the boys are genuinely in danger or simply interpreting ordinary moments through the lens of fear. Things take a darker turn when the mother becomes aware of their suspicions. Her frustration transforms into anger, and the warmth in her voice disappears completely. She punishes the boys harshly for things they never did, isolates them in their room, and refuses to answer any of their questions. The boys feel trapped inside a nightmare where their every move is monitored and every whisper could lead to danger. The younger brother begins experiencing nightmares, seeing visions of their mother calling for help from somewhere inside the house, which strengthens their belief that the real mother may be trapped or worse. Their imaginations fuel their terror, making each day more unbearable than the last. The tension reaches a breaking point when the brothers discover a locked room covered in dust, a room their mother once used every day but now refuses to acknowledge. Inside, they find old letters, medical papers, and photographs that reveal cracks in the story she told them. Some pictures show their mother with a different dressing style, a different posture, and even signs of emotional struggle they never knew about. They begin piecing together a picture of a woman who may have changed drastically while they were away, but they interpret these discoveries as proof that someone else has replaced her. The fear becomes overwhelming, and their plan shifts from uncovering the truth to escaping the house before something terrible happens. But before they can run, the mother catches them. The confrontation becomes one of the most chilling parts of the story. She insists she is their real mother and begs them to stop believing in illusions created by trauma and separation. Her emotional outburst feels genuine, but her tone carries an unsettling combination of desperation and anger that makes the boys even more suspicious. She tries to hold them, but they pull away, terrified. The scene is filled with emotional pain on both sides, highlighting how misunderstanding and fear can destroy trust completely. The mother's tears hint at a deeper truth, but the boys' fear blinds them from seeing it. In the next sequence, the boys take a drastic step fueled by panic and confusion. They tie their mother to a chair in an attempt to force the truth out of her, convinced that the imposter will eventually reveal her real identity. The tension becomes almost unbearable as the woman pleads, cries, screams, and tries to convince them that she is exactly who she says she is. The boys, trembling with fear, continue questioning her about intimate memories from the past, and although she answers many correctly, their minds are too clouded by suspicion to believe her. The scene becomes a heartbreaking clash of innocence and desperation, creating a psychological breaking point for all three characters. As the situation spirals out of control, the house becomes a stage for emotional chaos. Objects fall, lights flicker, and doors slam as the boys' panic turns into a frenzy. The mother's anguish becomes clearer, and through her tears, she begins confessing secrets she had buried for years, fears she never shared, traumas she carried alone, and the guilt she held for not being the mother she once was. Her emotional breakdown becomes the turning point that reveals the real tragedy. The boys' fears may have been shaped by grief, confusion, and emotional wounds rather than actual danger. The line between reality and imagination becomes heartbreakingly clear, forcing the viewer to face a truth that the boys never understood. The tragic climax unfolds when the boys' attempt to escape the situation triggers a devastating accident inside the house. A fire breaks out, smoke fills the rooms, and the brothers struggle to navigate through the chaos. Their mother, still tied, screams for them, begging them to stop and begging for forgiveness, even though she did nothing wrong. The scene captures the raw emotional weight of misunderstandings reaching a horrible endpoint. The film reveals that the boys were haunted not by an imposter, but by their own unprocessed pain and the changes in their mother that they could not accept. The final scenes carry a haunting blend of silence and sorrow. The aftermath shows how a fractured family, broken communication, and emotional trauma created a tragedy that could have been avoided. The message lingers deeply. Sometimes fear comes not from monsters, but from the shadows created by grief and the mind's desperate attempt to understand things it cannot handle. The story closes slowly, showing fragments of memories that might have saved them if they had been brave enough to face the truth instead of running from it.